Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Tuesday edition of the Daily Market Commentary. I am your host, Chuck Fulkerson. Hope everybody had an amazing trading day yesterday. I want to welcome everybody that is new to the channel and invite you to click the subscribe button down below so that you get the updates as we put these out. For those of you new to the channel, we look at the same 10 to 12 futures markets every day, identifying potential breakouts and turnaround points. But the most important thing is we leave the lines on the charts. Leaving the lines on the charts hold me accountable, it holds you accountable, and it lets you see how trades develop over time from an educational perspective. So let's go ahead and dive in to some individual markets. So first one we're going to take a look at is the S&P. Now yesterday, for those of you that were on the DMC, I talked about patience and I was talking about being patient simply because there wasn't a whole lot of movement happening. And yesterday morning, when we looked at it, the market was about here. We've actually come down about 9 points since then, but really with no great reason for us to be down. There was no great reason for us to be down. I did think later in the day that had we broken above these highs, that we may have had a chance to get long again. And really what made me think about that were these long lower wicks. Long lower wicks tell me that buyers are kind of keeping this thing up. But once those lower wicks were broken, now we've started a little bit of a move down. And at the end of the day yesterday, I put it up on Twitter. I kind of felt like we had a little bit of a topping pattern that had formed, especially in the Qs. Just kind of gave me that sense. Now we do see that we have broken through this upward trend line on the hourly chart, and certainly not that the upward trend line is the be-all and end-all, but it definitely shows that we have some weakness. Now, we had a short setup below this 27.13. I'd be okay, actually, if somebody went short right about now because we're in a downward move, and I think that there's still room for it to continue to fall from here. If it does get short, look to this area down here as a potential reversal, although I like this one down here a bit better. The NQ, also a very similar setup in the NQ, although if we get below, we're kind of basing here, whereas it's not quite as steep as the drop we've had so far this morning in the S&P. But we definitely have broken this upward trend line as well. So both upward trend lines have been broken on the hourly chart. On the 4-hour chart, certainly not at all. On the 4-hour chart, we're actually, well, I guess if you take this trend line, we're through it, but it's not. It's still an upward movement on the 4-hour chart. So the short is still in play below there. We do have this little area here on the 4-hour to concern ourselves with, where that is looking at it on the 1-hour chart. That becomes a decent price target if indeed you're short on it right now. Same thing yesterday. I spoke to a friend of mine about where to get long, and I said, well, above 69, I think it was 87, which were these long lower wicks. Yeah, right above those long lower wicks was a chance to get long, and it just never popped back up above there, looking for that confirmation. So all in all, not a whole lot to add to our levels that are in play in the Nasdaq. So let's move over to crude oil. So crude, we had a reversal point set up down here. Price was unable to get to that level. We've now come up to our highs here, 71.89 are the highs. I want to see if we get a little bit of a reversal from here. If we do, be on the lookout for a potential breakout long. If we get a reversal down from here, be on the lookout for a long breakout and possibly even keep an eye out for this $71 level. If we drop down another 50 cents today, look for a reversal in this point right there. Gold has, we put this potential breakout point here, and it served as a great resistance line. Unfortunately, it hasn't come back to it yet for us to get a shot to get back in. In gold today, one of the areas that you might want to look at for a potential reversal, once again, this was the perfect breakout setup that I just didn't take, and this is what frustrates me. But that's all right. We all have those days. Mama told me there'd be days like this. This could be a little bit of a reversal point right here if indeed price rallies back up into this region. Let's look at bonds. Euro, Aussie, Canadian. So on our bond market, we have come back to our potential breakdown short in the bond market. We've not broken below it yet, but it is close to breaking today, so keep an eye on this one. I like the fact that we spent some time there, moved away from it. We're here again, so keep an eye on this as a potential. Our euro, we got a little bit of a breakout to the upside. Yesterday I talked about taking your stop and moving it to lock in some profits, and that's why we did, because now it's come back down. So this one, it did break out for a little profit for those of you that were able to take it. I did not have it on the short on the way back down, and so now that that trade is over, probably for a small profit if you did indeed move that stop back up. Looking at a potential reversal point, I'd have to come up here for potential reversal if it does indeed make its way back up there. Canadian dollar, nowhere near any of our levels on the Canadian dollar. And the Aussie, looking at the Aussie, we are coming close to our potential Aussie reversal. Now, be aware, we've got a little bit of fair price value area just above us right here. So with that fair price value area, you could see a very small profit objective. So you may want to watch your stop tightly if indeed you get long on the pullback into this region. Remember, it's a dashed line, so price has to come in, and then we would get long as it comes back out of that area. Great British Pound, Japanese Yen, Nat Gas, and Copper. We are no new levels to add on any of these markets. The Great British Pound really just still hanging around sideways, not a whole lot going on, not a whole lot happening. It will lull you to sleep to take a breakout in this kind of market, but this is not the kind of market that I like to take a breakout. It's just too tight of a pattern. And then on the Japanese Yen, same thing as well. There is a potential if we get a reversal back up to here for someone to get short on a retest back into this area if that fits your risk profile. It's a little bit riskier of a trade only because we're basing right now before it, so just keep an eye on it and know your own risk tolerances and risk parameters. So with that being said, I hope everybody has a great trading day. If there's something I can do for you, please feel free to send me an email, chuck@iiefinancial.com, and I will see you soon.